Hey gang, welcome to episode 20, which also marks the end of season 1 of No More Strangers. I'm so grateful to everyone who's been with me on this ride, and to every guest who's entrusted me with their time and their story. By the end of this episode, you'll have met 20 people with very different experiences of life, and as I like to say, you now have 20 fewer strangers in your own life. Today we're sitting down with my friend Travis Brown, someone who's always been actively engaged in his own experiences of life. Also, we nerd out on Magic the Gathering, so if you've got gamers in your life, this might be an episode for them. We do get into the weeds, but we tie it all together, I promise. On a quick side note, Season 2 is right around the corner. It'll still be about meeting strangers, but the focus is shifting. You're going to hear from people exploring the non-physical side of life. Think consciousness, the unknown, the kinds of experiences that make us reconsider what's possible. I'm taking a short break to get episodes booked, recorded, and ready to go, and we'll be back soon with more amazing stories to tell. Follow me on Instagram for updates, or subscribe to the show on Spotify, Apple, wherever you listen to podcasts, as I'm planning on posting updates to the podcast feeds as well. With that out of the way, my name is JT Erickson, and this is No More Strangers. And Travis, we're live. We should have hit record like 20 minutes ago. Quick recap. What have we decided? Agent Smith is the one.
Yeah, not
from
Neo.
the Matrix, not Neo.
Yep.
So we were also trying to figure out when we met, and I think we locked it down to somewhere around 2012.
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nerdiest way we could have met. I think, if possible, is there a nerdier way than meeting at Magic the Gathering tournaments?
Probably like a Reddit forum for Magic the Gathering.
Sure, but an IRL meet.
That's got to be the
Yeah, it's got to
for
be
sure.
it. Yeah. So,
Anyway.
so for listeners, we may go deep on Magic the Gathering lore. Buckle up if you feel like it, but I think there's plenty of other conversation that's going to be worth your time.
We'll get timestamps too.
AI makes them automated. It's fantastic.
It
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah, I used to try to do those manually. Not easy. Yeah. Yeah. So we met Austin, Texas.
Yep.
We think it was around 2012.
Sounds right.
And at some point we started seeing each other at different tournaments around the country even.
Yeah, like the GPs of old.
The GPs of old, the
GPs.
Grand Prix, which were the large 2-day events put on by Wizards of the Coast, basically getting people into big money tournaments that could lead to, and when I say big money tournaments,
Very different
I
scale.
will scale expectations, low 5-figure payouts.
Yeah, I think first was like 20?
I think so.
Maybe 10. Honestly,
Maybe
probably
10. Yeah.
Like-
So this isn't like high stakes. This is for the love of the game.
Yeah. But you do get invitations to Pro
Tours.
Tour.
Yeah.
And I don't know if GPs handed out Worlds invites. I don't think so.
I don't even remember.
But Pro Tour, you could make some real money doing that. That
Real
being
money.
said, the amount of work that would go into that,
The word pro is in it. You have to dedicate some significant time, unless you are one of 3 people on this planet who are absurdly good.
like John Finkel.
Yep.
I wouldn't even say that about Kai, though, because Kai he's worked so much.
Yeah, yeah. It's hard to differentiate talent from actual work.
Yeah, I think Finkel's probably the most talented of that era,
I think so.
but I don't know which one's better.
I'm not actually concerned at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they just have massive respect for each other, and they're both just like pretty cool dudes.
They seem like it. Yeah.
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 Finkel, like, very active in deprogramming himself recently, which is super cool. But yeah, anyway,
You had mentioned that, and maybe we can dive into that
When-
if and when we find ourselves in the more. Look, guys, I struggle to talk politics because I'm not very well versed, and Travis is into it.
it is something I'm always trying to educate myself more on.
Respect and fantastic use of more on. It's. I can't let that slide. It was way too funny. Yeah, but so we met in Austin, Texas, and so where did you grow up? What was your story?
Yeah, so broad strokes, born in Michigan, I think Grand Rapids, lived there until I was about 7. moved to Germany for 3 years, went to an international school, so spoke English there, but met people from kind of all over, like South Korea, Spain, Britain, Egypt, I think.
Nice.
Yeah, kind of all over. And then moved back to Michigan for a couple of years. My dad worked in General Motors in kind of the procurement, the trade. So he was sent to work in the German branch for a while. That's what brought us. People always ask military, not military. And then he was recruited by Dell. Okay. So when I was about 12 years old or so, moved down to Austin, Texas, and then lived there for a long time. Until I think I moved up to Columbus in 2023.
Yeah. That sounds right.
Yep. So 20 some odd years.
Yeah.
I lived in Austin.
And it's kind of interesting because for me, grew up in Northeast Ohio, came down to Columbus, and then we met in Austin, and now you live here in Columbus, where it's easy for me to get to as I extend another trip and get a couple episodes. And I was like, you know what, Trav is in Austin or in Columbus. Let's see if we can do this.
Cool. Yeah. So that's broad strokes.
Broad strokes. Yeah. Broad strokes. Do you think there was an influence on your 3 years in Germany and then coming back to Michigan, which I would sort of expect, and correct me if I'm wrong, is a bit more parochial, a little bit more, people don't leave as much.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I think living in Germany for a few years, we also, like, credit to my parents, they tried to help us travel as much as we could to see as many different places. Like, we live here, way easier to travel around Europe.
Right.
Let's do it.
Right.
So I went to like France, Greece, London, like all those places. And it was really cool. And just, I think exposure to these different cultures. Sometimes I didn't like the cultures as much because I liked French fries. Like, because I was, 9 years old or whatever,
Right.
and I had no palate. And
Right.
I'm like now, which I like French fries. But but I think I kind of had an appreciation for basically no matter where you go, everyone kind of is just trying to live their lives and do their own thing.
Totally.
And so I think that exposure helped me just know that, I don't know, people are just trying to do their thing. And like this kid who I met, who's from South Korea, also just wants to play Mortal Kombat. And that's pretty cool.
Right on. Yeah. He wants to have a place to live. He wants to have a meal. And hey, Mortal Kombat is sweet.
Yes. And I think, I don't think I was aware of it at the time, but when we moved back to Michigan, the school I was at, luckily I was fortunate to have my parents become like upper middle class. Mm-hmm. So like I grew up fairly comfortably. But I definitely saw like, there weren't a lot of not white people at my school. Mm-hmm. And I don't think that stuck out to me, but it definitely, looking back, stuck out to the other people that looked like me.
How do you mean?
Like, people are kind of racist without necessarily meaning to be racist.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
sure.
This is like,
yeah,
there are, three black kids in the school.
It's the tribal mindset. Like
Exactly.
we have, and I talk about this way too much, or at least it's my suspicion that a large part of that is still from that dense scarcity mindset, where we think we have to protect our own, and we associate with tribe, and then we can associate tribe with whatever, sports teams, political parties, whatever, and anything that is an attack on that tribe ends up becoming an attack on the self, because we extend our construct of self to be part of that tribe. And now as we approach a world where that doesn't have to be the case, we're seeing a lot of that struggle.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like, I don't know, people are just people.
Yeah. So you came here, you went to UT. Well, you didn't come here. You came to Austin. I forgot I was in Ohio now. Where am I, Travis?
No one knows. Time's a flat circle.
You went to Texas. You went to Austin.
Yep.
You ended up at UT.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, University of Texas, hook 'em. I went there, went for the highly marketable degree of philosophy, rhetoric, minored in psychology.
It doesn't show. That's fascinating. I would never have guessed.
The thing is, I hated the philosophy major.
Really?
Yeah, we can dive into that in a minute. But basically, the reason originally I wanted to do that was because I wanted to go to law school.
Okay.
Because money.
Yep.
And when you're 18, making a lot of money sounds pretty cool, because then women.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, we are very simple creatures. We see a thing and we figure out how we get.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why people, I think it was Dr. Mike who's like, that's part of the reason he got into medicine, because he saw the doctor played by the ER guy on Friends, and Rachel thought he was hot.
Yeah.
I get it.
I get it. I get it. Yeah, not a.
Yeah.
It's sort of it's a trap.
Yeah. I don't have these pictures up because I love them. I have these pictures up in the hopes that my partner likes me.
Yes,
Right?
That's fair.
She's great.
that's fair. That's funny. All my pictures are things I like. Whatever.
Oh, there's stuff I like. But like,
Yeah.
she doesn't like that when I don't have anything on my walls.
Oh, that's fair.
Yeah, which most single dudes I've ever met.
Yeah.
It's like, why would I put things on my walls? That I just have to take them down when I move.
See, it's funny. I have a bunch of metal concert posters on my wall and some nice artwork because I like to have it. Makes it nice. You know what? Now I got to rethink that. Why do I put them on my wall, Travis?
We know why.
That's unfortunate. Get out of my head, philosophy and psychology guy.
But so that was the original reason. I did not like the philosophy major primarily because I liked philosophy when it was like questioning things and trying to understand a greater truth and things like that.
Fundamentals of reality and experience.
Yeah. What I did not like was most of the philosophy majors and teachers weren't focused on like ethics and what is or isn't right and why. They were focused on, like, I think it's David Hume, whereas does causality exist? Which is
A fascinating
interesting.
question.
It is very interesting, horribly dense to read.
Yes.
Almost illegible. But asking the question, is causality real, has no practical bearing for literal anyone. Because, okay,
We
say
live in a linear construct at present.
I concede your points. I concede all of it.
Yeah.
Causality is not real. Does that mean now I don't need to get money so I can buy food and eat?
Correct.
Like, that is not interesting to me. But I was already like 2+ years into the major. I'm like, I just need to get my degree.
That's right.
So yeah, that was basically it.
Man, that is disappointing. Like the first philosophy course that I took at Ohio State was literally an exploration of ethics.
Yeah, that stuff's great.
It was almost like they were trying to bait me in for some philosophy degrees.
And there were some genuinely interesting questions. Like I wrote, I think a 17-page paper or something examining why Superman could never be a moral actor.
Yeah.
Because if I run into a burning building and save a child,
Correct. It's a
why
risk
is
to
it moral?
yourself.
It's
Right.
because exactly I'm risking so much. I'm going above and beyond what would be normally expected.
Right.
But Superman, because he's effectively a god, can never hit that threshold, so he can never be a moral actor.
Yeah.
Silly thing, fun to talk about.
Fun to talk about.
Not super useful.
No. Yeah.
So yeah, like there was good, but there was also like, what's the point
Yeah.
of any of this?
Yeah.
So
So you became a nihilist.
no, nihilism is a whole other bag that I honestly am not super familiar with all the nuance.
Sure,
to it.
but high level construct, right? Like it's an easy thing to fall into.
yes, it is.
Especially when you pose the very literal question, why does any of this matter?
Right. Some things I do think just matter.
Okay.
I don't find the why does any of this matter is more the philosophy classes.
I'm sorry, I was baiting you.
Okay, I took the bait.
Yeah.
As I usually do.
Go for it.
But yeah, so that's kind of where we're at. And then after that, I kind of floated around a little bit, got my degree, and then joined an organization that did fundraising for nonprofits. In this case, it was fundraising for Planned Parenthood, which in most places I think is fine. But in Texas, you just like say, hey, do you support Planned Parenthood? And then they say, no. And also, I think you should die. And it escalates very quickly.
That's very quick. Yeah.
And you go, okay, sir, have a good day. And then you do not talk to them anymore, especially if they keep talking.
So you were going door to door.
No, we were just on the street, on like a corner or whatever.
Okay. That's at least it was Austin. Could have
Yes,
been
it
worse.
was Austin.
Could have been worse for you.
Yes, absolutely.
Do not recommend in Dallas, Waco, San Antonio,
Anywhere
Houston, Lubbock. Don't go Lubbock. Yeah. Okay.
Why would I?
By the
go
way-
to Lubbock?
They had good PTQs. Sorry, throwback to Magic Pro Tour qualifier. I should clarify.
Jesus,
Mad Hatter, was it Mad Hatters? Had great PTQs.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, totally worth the drive to middle of nowhere.
It's Lubbock.
It's not a bad town.
It's the dirty South. Literally, they have so much syphilis.
Do they really?
That's why it's called the dirty South.
But Lubbock has a lot of syphilis.
Oh, so much, dude. You think Texas Tech is using condoms?
I never thought about that, Trav. This is
So when I was in college, one of the things I did because
Planned
a
Parenthood.
girl I met
Oh, okay.
who was beautiful, she was doing it. And she's like, you should do this. And I said, yeah, that sounds great.
Like you do.
Yes.
We are so cognitively structured and sound in our thinking. What motivates us again? Sorry, go on.
Yeah. And so she, it was basically Healthy Sexuality Peer Educators, which was basically you learn a lot about sex and healthy sexuality and what that means from typically like how to prevent STI, stuff like that, and how to make sure you're giving consent. Really important things that I really wish we talked about more.
Yeah.
Especially in Texas where they teach you condoms aren't real.
That can't be true.
I'll get to that in just a second. But yeah, so basically, Healthy Sexuality Peer Educators, we would run workshops for different organizations. So like if a frat wanted us to come by, we'd come by. We had like Sex Jeopardy, stuff like that.
Sounds fun.
It was really cool. And we were also the people in like the main mall that people would walk by and be like, hey, do you want a free condom? We just hand out condoms. It was awesome.
Neat.
Yeah, so state of Texas, I don't know if this is still true. Probably is. It was true for decades. Basically, you are not allowed to teach any form of like sex ed besides abstinence. You got extra money from the state if you did, and you lost that money if you taught about any form of contraception, including the pill, including condoms, any of that.
Wow.
Because everyone knows high schoolers are very good at just not having sex.
Yeah, no, that's difficult. There's that sort of physiological, psychological predicate where you are compelled. Okay.
Also, your prefrontal cortex is not fully developed, so you're just like, whatever my hormones say.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah, that is a real thing. So in Texas, it was uniquely helpful because one, I got to learn a lot more about it. The textbook for the class was called The Guide to Getting It On. I still have it. It's like 700 something pages. It's awesome because it talks about not only like how to prevent, like make sure you don't get herpes. Honestly, who gives a shit? Like I get it, but like all these other things are so much worse.
Yes.
But it was one of those things where it covered that, but then it also covered like anxiety around sexual activity, how to handle that. And also like it was a refreshing thing because it was a female teacher as well, but she very much focused on like, nah, men have issues too. And it was like, wow, I feel seen.
Yeah.
And the chapter in the book, I think it was the first one she had us read, is basically like, yes, like there's tension on both sides, but the thing that it all comes down to is if he doesn't stay hard, it's a failure. And now it's all on him. And if he thinks about it, he will fail. And all these things. And it's like, yo, you're right. You're right, Teach.
Wow.
And so, yeah, like...
Things I could have learned long ago.
Right?
Yeah.
Just like, I think all those things help me just better learn things and more confidently just like talk about consent and things like that. I think my buddy, he's a little nervous because he's a little older than me. I think your age. And he's like still dating, and he's like, fucking sucks, dude. I'm like, yeah. And he said, and I'm like, I'm worried about consent and all that stuff. I said, okay. Yep.
I'm going to hit pause real quick, guys.
All right, and we're back.
The Mormons are gone.
Yeah, apparently that was an LDS sponsored break. Didn't see that coming. Nobody expects the Spanish Inquisition?
No.
Do we know it was the LDS? We didn't answer the door. We did not answer the door. It could have been. Who's the other one that comes to the door with ties and white shirts?
I think it's just them. In Columbus, Ohio, I think it's just them.
Okay, that's fair. I thought there was another one.
There might be.
Yeah, it's okay. We didn't want to talk to them today.
No.
I did offer to answer the door for you.
You did. I appreciate it, but
Yeah.
just let them go away.
Okay.
Yep. So
Consent.
yeah, there we go. So he was asking, like how, like if, I'm going out with this girl and things go well and we like go back to her place or whatever, like I want to make sure she's cool with whatever she's doing, but I don't know how to ask. And I said, all right, I'm going to leave his name out, but Jim, let's say.
Jim.
If a woman were asking for your consent, would you be okay with that? And he's like, well, I don't know. It's like, if a woman said, I want to, are you cool with that?
Hi, Mom.
You'd be totally fine with that, right? He's
Right.
like, yeah. It's like, well, if she's into it, you can ask to do these things and say, I want to do this. And if she says yes, then by all means. It's when you stop and go, are you okay with this, 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 this? That's weird. Don't do that.
Totally.
One thing at a time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden it went from consent is weird and awkward to, yo, that's been cool.
Yeah.
And that's
Is
great.
this, do you have to, okay, in this construct that you're proposing or suggesting or that you were teaching or however this works,
Yeah.
you have to do it every single thing you're about to do?
No.
Oh, thank God.
Uh,
As I'm re-entering this world, you're terrifying
It's
me.
all complicated too because it depends on the interaction and things like that.
Okay.
But like when you start, if you're like making out on a couch or whatever,
right.
and then you want to move to the next step,
Right.
I think it is important to have like some open communication about that and go from there.
Sure.
Because
that's
if-
fair. That's totally fair.
Yeah.
Because the way you often hear this or see this portrayed in media, it's, I would like this, please sign this form stating this, that, the other. South Park did a great job of
Yes.
parodying this with,
Yeah, it's just one of those things where it's like, if someone also seems uncomfortable,
yeah.
maybe pause for a
Read the
second.
room, maybe read
Yeah.
the room, which is why alcohol or other drugs make things a little more difficult.
Right, they make it easier to get there, more difficult to figure out,
Yeah.
and also complicated if something goes wrong.
Oh, way more complicated. Yeah.
For everyone involved.
Everyone.
Yeah, so that's kind of my recommendation. Like, consent can totally be hot and sexy if it's done in the right way and you understand each other and you read the room.
And you can understand where that might not sound like it's hot and sexy. So
Yes.
you have conversations about consent in a moment of passion.
Yes.
Okay.
And that's why you don't say, do I have your consent to do this? 'Cause
See, I'm
get
out.
in the-
I'm out.
Get in the locker, nerd.
Yeah.
You ask, I want to do this to you.
I don't want to go back into the locker.
And if they want you to do that to them, they will say yes enthusiastically.
Oh, nice.
They will.
Yeah. Did not enter this conversation expecting
No.
to get, sweet dating tips for my new world. Like,
Yeah, so and I think it's just how do we have those conversations? Also, the more times you have those conversations, the better.
yeah. The more natural it becomes.
It is funny because also people say like on a first date you never want to bring up what religion, politics. or
Politics.
exes.
Sure.
I think you want to touch on all three.
I think so. I think so. It tells you a lot of things about their mindset, where they are emotionally, if we're talking about exes, where they are in terms of alignment with you on core
Yeah.
fundamental structures of understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. Like if you're trying to just, have a one night stand,
Then
don't
it
bring
doesn't
up
matter.
anything.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
you're trying to build a relationship,
Correct.
you want to knock out like, do we have any hugely conflicting things right away?
Right. And are they so tightly held, so closely held that you can't have a conversation and find a middle ground?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, how are your finances right now? Do you have a lot of debt?
Right.
Okay. Maybe not that.
Yeah,
but,
well,
like,
maybe-
second date.
That's like second, third date territory. Yeah, because at that point you might be, whichever one is having debt issues, the other might be willing to have conversations around, well, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Yeah, if that's still the goal to develop something.
Exactly. Yeah, cool.
So you did that right out of college with your philosophy degree.
Yes.
Sick.
I was.
And again, you
well,
got
that
there
was when I
because
was
a
in
really
school.
beautiful woman had told you this was fun.
Yeah, and that was
Gotcha.
when I was in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so when I got out of school, I worked as a fundraiser for Planned Parenthood.
Got it. Okay.
There were certainly some experiences I had on there that we're not going to touch on here.
That's
They were
fair.
all good experiences.
Okay.
Other than the death threats, but we covered that.
Right. Oh, there's only one. It was singular.
Oh, threats for sure. There was usually one or two a day.
Nice.
Yeah, and then after that, I realized I really enjoyed teaching.
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, what if I got a teacher certification? So I started working on that. While I did that, I went back to work at HEB as a cashier just to make some money on the side, and then pay bills. Then I quickly realized that I love teaching, but the profession of teaching was not something I was interested in.
That's fair. I've heard a lot of that.
Yeah, a lot of it is so much more like classroom management and admin work than it is teaching students and like mentoring. And so I was like, not going to do that. So I ended up going through management and leadership at HEB, which like it's in the service industry more or less. So it can't be that good, but in terms of in the retail space, I think it's about as good as working environment you can get.
And just for reference, HEB is a local Texas grocery store chain.
Yes. Yeah, it's like almost a cult. It's like, it's the best grocery store. It just is.
Yeah, we have a few cults down in Texas. We got Buc-ee's, we got H-E-B. What else we have? Barbecue sort of classifies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not brand.
No, but
loyalty,
it's sort of
that's
a
just-
construct loyalty.
Yes,
Yeah,
and
food.
football.
And football, UT, right? Unless you're an Aggie.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those are, I worked there for a while. Met my partner somewhere along the lines there. We got together. She's immunocompromised. COVID hits.
Fun.
The store I was at was doing 70-ish thousand transactions a week. I was a front end manager, so I was engaging a lot with that. And then eventually the plan was originally when I left that store, it would be to become like, to have my own department and things like that. And then they said, hey, we're going to move you to this other store. I said, cool. Which department am I running? They said, it'll be a lateral move, not a promotion. I said, okay, I'm putting in my 2 weeks.
Right.
So,
Because things had been pretty intense anyway with look, H-E-B got hit hard during COVID.
oh yeah.
Really hard.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so it was very much a situation where I was also doing, I felt like, way more work than I was getting compensated for. So I was managing anywhere between 150 and 210 people, working 40, 50 hours a week, which I think that's a normal amount.
That's fairly expected.
But I was getting paid 40 to 50,000 a year, which is not
Not commensurate with managing up to 210 people.
correct. And so, yeah, ended up leaving there, kind of floated around for a little bit, had my fun employment. And then my partner, she got me in touch with the company she was working at. I worked in social media effectively, doing community management, yada, yada. And then ended up becoming a customer success manager because a lot of the skill set I had, they felt like lined up a lot better with that. Unfortunately, there was some like politics internally at the company. They're like, well, we can't move you because you haven't been in the role X amount of months.
Right.
Even though they were moving other people. So I reached out to another company that my buddies worked at who had an opening, and they hired me in a week.
Nice.
And so I was like, okay.
Nice.
Yeah, and I've been doing that at a couple different companies since. Was laid off from the last one the week of the election, actually, which sucked. But the company, I have respect for the company. I like them. And they gave me awesome severance.
Nice.
And they're like, hey, they laid me off effectively at the beginning of the month, paid me normally throughout the rest of the month, and then also gave me many weeks of severance.
That's
it's
really
like,
cool.
Okay. It's like,
Yeah.
this sucks because it was a whole, reduction in force, so 10% or something.
That's brutal.
It was brutal. But if you're going to do that, there are a few better ways to do that, I guess.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, so, and then ended up getting new job, similar, better pay. So,
And at some point you decided to move up to Columbus, out of
Yep.
Austin.
yeah, so I decided to move out of Austin into Columbus in 2023, March of 2023. Decided that because at that point, I wasn't in a relationship,
Yeah.
had a dog,
Yeah.
and I had since become effectively estranged from my family. And so usually the reason people move is job location
Yep.
or family. And so I asked other people who had moved, I'm like, hey, why'd you move there? And those were all the answers. So I had no guidelines on where. I wanted to leave Austin because I'd been there 20-something years, was due for a change, and it's expensive.
It is.
And then also I was like, you know what? If I hate it where I move, I can move back because I rent.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I was playing a lot of competitive Magic at the time. Texas is a horrible place to play competitive Magic because you have to fly
used to be.
everywhere.
It used to be great. I felt like it was good.
Midwest was always better.
100%.
Yeah.
And the Northeast is better still.
Yeah, because you drive 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I at that point I had a small following on Twitter from the Magic community. I'm like, yo guys, where should I move? Here are some of my thoughts. And then a guy who, anytime I meet someone who's like solid to very good at Magic, and then also they seem like a functional person, I'm like, I'm locking you in as a friend. But he said, hey, hear me out. Columbus is basically not an A or an A plus in anything,
Right.
but it's a solid B across the board. So I visited. Honestly, this is pretty cool.
It's a pretty good city.
Austin vibes from about 20 years ago.
Yes.
I was like, you know what?
And
Sure.
prices nowhere near Austin prices.
Let's get in there.
Is
Just
it?
everywhere is expensive is the problem now. Like, And that gets into why capitalism's terrible.
Oh, for God's sake.
Because, like, I'll even give you this, it's not true capitalism.
Thank you.
Yeah, but I also think, like you would say about socialism, it's not possible to do true.
Or like
anytime-
you would say about libertarianism, minus the other elements that
anarchy.
seem to be, hey, man, it's not anarchy. Okay, it resembles anarchy. It resembles anarchy, but we have some pretty solid financial constructs and fiscal ideas. You know,
Problem is,
you go to the economic fundamentals of, you know, von Mises and friends, like, because they're a super team. I'll stop.
no, please.
You're welcome.
But yeah, everywhere's expensive.
Yeah.
It's basically impossible to own anywhere now unless you have a ton of money. And I'm like doing well for myself now. I don't have debt.
Right.
But like there's a big gap between I'm not in debt and I have $50K to throw down as a down payment on a house.
Right.
It's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, there's a bit of a difference.
Yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
fully employed
yes.
and you're streaming Magic, making some money on that.
I make some money.
Yeah.
I put out like written content primarily through the Patreon, and then I do some video content, mostly because I just enjoy it.
Yeah.
I specialize in one archetype, and that's what I enjoy. When that archetype's been like truly unplayable, I have tried other things, and people enjoyed that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like I think people just, I get the vibe that they care less about the specific content I put out and more that they kind of like me, which is cool.
That is cool.
And if you like me, awesome. If you don't like me, don't tell me because I never go to the comments section.
You know, everybody always says, see, I'm fortunate in this. Okay, that's a weird way to put it. I have no comments. So,
Yeah, it's like, I mean, I have very few anyway. And so I make the joke because people are generally nice. Sometimes you get comments like, why didn't you do X, Y, Z? It's like, well, because that's not a thing you can do.
yeah. Fair question.
Yeah.
And yeah.
It's not a legal play.
Right.
But yeah, so that's kind of what I do on the side as well. And I quite enjoy it.
Yeah, and you've had some pretty, I would say, substantial success in the Magic the Gathering space relative to, say, 99% of people that play.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah, 2021, I think it was, when like COVID didn't end, but like the lockdowns ended and like tournaments started coming back. I was fortunate because I went to the first large tournament in years in paper, and I ended up like, you know, running well, playing well, and Anurag,
Anurag Das.
awesome dude. He went on site and streamed the event.
Right, I remember
Now,
this.
was not hired by Star City to do it.
No, sorry, and Star City being one of the primary card sellers / tournament organizers in the country. Anurag Das worked for them, I believe. Did he work for them
Not there.
initially?
No.
Oh, I know there he did it on his own.
He has been contracted by them for some events, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he does a really good job with very small amounts of physical resources.
Right.
But yeah, so he streamed it, and like the top 8 and all that, and then he had some awesome commentators. Reed Duke, one of my heroes, and then Jarvis Yu, awesome dude.
Both wonderful humans.
They were doing the commentary, and it was incredible getting to watch the replay of me playing the match.
And getting to hear Reed Duke talk about your decisions.
Yes. He's like, I like what he's doing. I'm like, Reed, stop. Reed, stop.
This is not something I was ever prepared for in my life.
No.
Reed Duke, notably one of the most wonderful human beings on the planet.
I think it was GP Orlando. He won the event
Yes.
and then stepped outside. And instead of coming back in for like his photo op and stuff, he helped some people push and start their car that he didn't know.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
what?
He's
so nice.
based is a word.
Reed Duke, incredibly based.
Yeah.
But yeah, so got a lot of attention there. And then I did well at a couple other tournaments, and people were like, yo, make a Patreon.
Yeah.
And so I did that. They
Because
signed
at
up.
that
I'm
point
like,
you had some notoriety.
Yeah.
You had some sort of very specific
Yep.
expertise.
Yeah. And it was expertise that no one else was really making content for. So there was that hyper niche hole.
Which is where the internet is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. You don't want to be generic unless you're already huge, and then it's fine.
Right.
But yeah, so, and then 2022, I think, was when I had my best year. I had like I did my year in review or whatever. I think it was like 12 or 15 top 8s and like 4 wins. And it was like, this is absurd.
That's a hot
It
run.
was insane. yeah, so that's
Was that all on a single circuit, or was that across
no, it was
multiple?
across like Star City, Apex, which is a store in Columbus, or not in Columbus, in Caldwell, Ohio.
Okay.
Awesome store. Caldwell is very small.
I haven't heard of it, so I assume that.
Yeah, like it's just very small. But they have a really good store. So
Okay.
they put on like 5 and 10Ks.
Wow.
And then I also had some good success on NRG as well.
Okay. And NRG is another where they're
Yeah,
what's
Nerd
their
Rage Gaming,
circuit?
they do more of the Midwest stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, a few top 8s there as well, which was great.
Nice. If we still had the old school system where those points get you access to Pro Tours, you might have had a nice finale to the year.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And it is funny because people have asked like, how have you done on the Pro Tours? And I'm like, I've never been to a Pro Tour.
Yeah.
And people are surprised by that, which is flattering. That's
It's
very
very
nice.
flattering. It's beautiful to hear.
And I appreciate
In
that.
the space, that's like the holy grail.
I mean, world.
Okay, fine.
But like, I would love to play
Getting
at a
on
Pro
the
Tour.
tour, that was the dream for everybody.
And so I think people have asked like, oh, well, why not? It's like, I have learned that I enjoy Magic in very specific ways, playing specific decks that I really like. And that does not always serve me well.
Yeah.
Oftentimes.
Would you describe this as a hyper focus of some sort?
Oh, for sure.
Little bit.
Hyperfixation, absolutely. ADHD kicking in. We could talk about that next.
Yeah, I think we will.
And so it's just, I got way more enjoyment I've been playing Magic for a couple decades at this point. I get so much more enjoyment out of working and focusing on a specific thing and really tuning that and learning all the little tips and tricks that are not normal, that most people would not know, than I do optimizing my chances to win an event by playing the quote unquote like best deck. And that's it. So when people ask, hey, what are you going to play? I'm like, I'm going to play Hammer. That's
Right.
the deck.
Hammer time.
And they're just like, do you think it's really good? I'm like, I think it's fine. I really like it. Sometimes I do think it's really good, and you definitely should play it.
Yeah.
But most of the time I tell people, like, if you haven't played a ton of it, you should not play it now. And I try to be honest about that, which I feel like a lot of people who are in a similar space but with different decks are not honest about.
Yes.
And always just say it's great, and then they don't even register the deck at the event. I'm like, that's gross.
It's a
That's
little-
gross behavior.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Don't lie.
Yeah.
It's like,
It's almost a form of gaslighting an entire audience.
yeah.
Yeah, horrifying.
Feels fraudulent. Not in
It
the
does.
criminal sense, but in the literal sense.
And in the space of any competitive gaming, it could also be seen as edge shooting, where getting everybody to expect that you're going to be, because you produce so much content around a specific strategy, then they sit down across from you, they think that's what you're on, they're going to make misplays in the early parts of the first game, which are going to give you an advantage.
And it is very funny because there was a time period where I was playing other decks and I was putting on content for those decks, but people who didn't actively follow me thought I was still playing the old deck.
Sure.
So turn one happens, I do this thing, and they go,
Oh,
what
no.
the hell?
I kept the wrong hand.
This is so bad for me.
Yeah. And you have a history of focusing on specific strategies.
Absolutely.
When we were up at a GP in Seattle, and you again, hyperfixation.
Oh, yeah.
And it was a fiddly, horrifying deck to play against, and you loved it.
So good.
Just for the record, how long were average rounds for you?
I never
Did you
went
go
to
to
time.
time? How did you not go to time with that? People quit.
So, like, one, you do just explain why they are hard locked out of the game.
Okay.
But then also, I was playing like the Thopter Sword pieces, so I could just kill them in 2 or 3 turns.
Okay.
It's like, all right, you're locked out, and also I will attack for 7, and then 8, and then 9.
Yeah.
Like, 7, 15, 24.
Right.
But yeah, so it's...
Okay.
But yes, it was very like, it had Thopter Sword, it had Tezzeret. Oh, God.
It was a beautiful thing.
So good, yeah. It had the War of Invention for like the lock pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, I played against Hogak 3 times when that was the deck, and I beat it all 3 times.
So gross.
Because it turns out when you go like turn 2 Karn the Great Creator into turn 3 War for Bridge, they're locked. They can't cast spells. They can't do anything. So yeah.
Yeah. Still a viable strategy, and it's relevant in Legacy if you play it.
No, not relevant.
Mystic Forge plays those.
Mystic Forge is a whole other animal. Like, that is not the same thing.
It's got similar elements of strategy. Look, I'm trying to come back, and that looks like what I'll play.
Sure, it's
Yeah.
fine. Yeah, do your thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, it's kind of what I enjoy. And I think in a large part, it's because of my ADHD.
Right. Right.
Which I kind of thought I had a lot of my life. Mother was a PhD in neuropsychology. She was never really practicing, at least not while I was alive.
Sure.
Because my dad was the breadwinner and she stayed home and raised my older daughter, or my older sister and myself. I don't have a daughter.
And you're still alive. So,
Yes.
Okay.
Also that.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't let that slide.
no, for sure. So, like, but she never wanted me medicated for anything.
I understand that.
So she had me tested for like intelligence and things like that. She's like, no, it's not that he has trouble focusing in class. It's that he's too smart and he's not being challenged, which like, thanks, Mom.
Yes, and.
Like, but it's not, my brain is so huge.
Right, right, right.
And so many years later in my, I guess, early 30s, I was like, you know what, I want a diagnosis. So
Right.
finally was able to get with a psychiatrist very early in the meeting. He was like, yeah, you sounds totally like you have ADHD.
Right.
So started taking Adderall, helped a lot.
Okay.
And I have people in my life who have taken it recreationally who don't have ADHD, and they're like, that shit is great. And then they're like, oh, you're on it right now? I was like, yeah. And they're like, why are you not tweaking? I'm like, because I actually have ADHD.
Yeah, this is not giving me a meth response. Thanks.
Right.
Right.
Which is also why caffeine sometimes makes me take a nap.
Yeah, yeah. Oh no.
But yeah, so that was super helpful. And then eventually I moved up to Ohio. They're a lot more strict on like the Schedule 1, I think, is what Adderall falls under. It's an amphetamine.
Yeah, yeah, it is.
And so I was able to get medication here, but ended up getting the official diagnosis, which is you go in for like,
It's a
I think it's
panel.
like 2.5 or 4 hours of testing.
Right.
Where they go through like lots of logic puzzles and just all these puzzles and things, and you're talking. And then they give you your diagnosis, and it turns out I'm smart, and that's like cool.
Yeah.
But then it also turns out I'm in like the incredibly high percentile of both hyperactivity and like inattentive ADHD.
Right. Which is so, and we chatted about this when we were prepping for this, but there's also that element of hyperfixation, which you've already described.
Yep.
How do those two things engage?
Which piece?
The inattentive, highly distractible plus hyperfixation.
Yeah, so it's one of those things where if you're getting those hits of dopamine, you can focus.
Okay.
Most things in life do not give you that because why the hell would they? But playing Magic, when it's a deck that I really enjoy,
Yeah.
does give me those hits. And so that's why my partner's like, when she thought I had ADHD because it was pretty obvious, but then when I finally got diagnosed, she was like, I don't understand how you can have trouble focusing in a conversation
Right.
after 5 minutes, but you can focus for hours upon hours on a game or something like that. And like,
Yeah.
well, it's because it's feeding what my ADHD craves.
Also, with that statement on the 5 minutes of conversation, losing focus, I am extremely excited to go back and listen to this and just see how off the rails we have been.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I feel like the flow has been
We'll
a
see.
flow.
We'll see. It's a
been a
flow.
flow.
There's a flow. There's a path. We'll recognize it when we get to the end.
But yeah, so I think trying to optimize every little thing about something that I really enjoy
Yeah.
just gives me so much more fulfillment.
Yeah.
Because I've worked on playing in like these regional championship teams and things like that.
Right.
And oftentimes the best deck will be solved.
Yes.
Sometimes it is just like so far above everything else, it's like stupid not to play it.
Right.
And I still don't play it
No.
because I'm me.
I understand that.
But I've started to revisit how I'm doing that because there are no times in Magic and my hobbies where I am more miserable than when I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Because I'm playing a deck, even if I like it, I'm just like playing it for a utility and all these pieces, and I'm like, I'm not having fun.
And that's fascinating to me because what it suggests is for you, it isn't necessarily just about, hey, I want to go win a tournament. It's I'm here to enjoy the incentivization is not a strict black and white, I want to win. For a lot of people it is. And that's totally fine. But for you, you have these interesting guardrails on how you want to engage with, let's call it the puzzle of Magic the Gathering.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of it is. And so some people will come to me with like versions of the deck I like to play and be like, hey, what do you think about this?
Yeah.
My first question I've learned, a lot of times I see them like, this looks terrible, or, oh, this looks cool.
Yeah.
But usually my first question at this point is just, what are your goals with it? Are your goals, I want to play with these cards because they are sweet and it will bring me joy? Then do that. That sounds awesome. Like, let's make tweaks here and there.
This will give you a little more
Yes.
edge, but you're going to have fun with it still because you're getting to play the big fat things that are fun.
But it's like, if they tell me my goal is I want to win this event, like, I'm sorry, you can't play that card. It's really bad.
Yeah.
Like, let's revisit, do these things. Because if your goal is to optimize your percentage points and win, then you have to approach it differently than, I want to play this thing because it's so sick.
It's so sick.
Which I get. Like,
Yeah.
no
We've all
judgment.
been there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. I like this card. I want to play it. That's fine. That's your justification. That's all you need. It's Magic.
Right.
Like,
It's a card game developed for man children.
yeah, if you are not having fun, go do something else.
Right.
And I don't think people do that enough.
No. And I'm not entirely sure why. There's a lot of fixation. I mean, you don't read the comments, but if you read Reddit, like there's this sort of assumed goal of optimal play patterns. And I can't understand why this person did X, Y, and Z. And you've had that in your comments you mentioned.
Yeah,
Like, why didn't you do that? And there's this lack of recognition or realization that each of us has a separate set of motivations for why we're doing things.
Absolutely.
And it's so frustrating, but also like, okay, so what? So go do something else.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the phone that has Reddit on it is also a great source of constant dopamine hits.
Oh yeah. Just give me that cursed box.
I need
all
that.
day.
I need that doom scroll, son. It's so bad.
It is.
It's so bad. How do you keep away from it? You don't. Do you?
phone?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Okay.
I try to like put it away for a minute.
Yeah.
Usually the only times I'm not are when I'm playing Magic or another game
Right on.
or shilling for Clair Obscure Expedition 33, which is the best game ever made, and I will die for that game. But I had to drop it. It's my whole personality.
You had to. It's your whole personality. Wow, that is the memeiest comment that I've had on this show.
It's just accepted at this point.
And if my brother listens to anything, I hope it's that soundbite because he might agree.
Brother's a smart man.
It's truth.
Perfect. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at, how I engage with Magic. And that is what kind of fuels me outside of work and relationship and all that. And trying to balance that is hard.
Yes.
It's like, because I know, okay, I need to make these updates, need to make these changes, need to put out this content, but I also want to hang out with you. And then I also kind of want to play this other game, which I could do while we're hanging out, but like Magic is kind of, I need to be focused and zeroed in. And it's just
Right.
balancing all those, I think, is incredibly difficult.
Especially if you're trying to play a video game while hanging out with your partner and staying engaged.
Yeah. And it's one of those things where typically I see people sometimes like they play 4 or 5 challenges on Magic Online a week.
Yeah.
And I was like, how do they're single.
Yeah. And they have a single focus in their life.
They're single and they might be unemployed. Those are usually the two.
Yeah.
And so
And that
it's
does not lead
hard.
to employment.
No,
No.
it's hard because it's one of those things where it's like, I respect that they're grinding so hard and they're putting in this work, but at the same time, that is not the life I want.
No.
The reality of the life they're living is not what I want. Like, I respect what they're doing and clearly they're optimizing, but it's just like,
Yeah.
could just drive Uber and make more money doing that most of the time. Even now.
Even now, and yeah, I talk to a lot of Uber drivers these days. It's rough out there, man. Mm-hmm. It's really rough.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're not already in a good spot, it is a tough time to try to get to one.
Yeah. So anybody listening, please, if you're in a good spot, stay in a good spot for now.
Don't do it.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Just
Don't
stay.
do it. Don't do it. Now's not the time to be jumping around.
No, which is kind of horseshit, but
It is what it is for now.
America.
We'll move through it, or we won't.
I know some people struggle with what is family. It must have been, so it must have been back in 2021. Yeah, so back in like November of 2021.
Yeah.
My partner and I drove down to Florida, where my whole family is now at this point. And we drove down there. We were going to stay there for a few weeks because we worked remote.
Right.
So we just brought our computers and stuff, stayed with my parents. They have a nice house out in Florida. And brought the dog because you got to bring the dog.
Gotta bring the dog.
So we drove from Austin to Lakeland, which is between Tampa and Orlando. It's kind of in the middle. Most of its exports are churches.
Okay.
Yeah. So and keep in mind, my parents are not religious at all,
Right. Okay.
but my sister is. That's a whole other. We aren't going to get into that.
That's fair.
But yeah.
And presumably you are not religious.
Correct.
In any way?
No.
Zero spirit.
No.
Cool.
No.
Okay.
No MP.
That's right.
And so it's one of those things where I don't think it's impossible.
Yeah.
Could totally be wrong. But also I live my life assuming there is not some sort of divine force or afterlife. I just try to hope I put a little more good into the world than I put in shit.
Okay.
That's about kind
Fair
of my
enough.
general guideline.
Fair enough.
So we went there, visited. Things went well the first night. Next day, we're working. Get off work, have dinner. Parents, they drink, which whatever. I used to drink as well. And talking to my partner because we had an issue with one of the places we stayed on the way there.
Sure.
So we're just figuring that out. Funny comes up. Tucker Carlson's playing on the TV, and my dad and I have had political arguments
Can't imagine.
effectively since I became someone who understood any sort of political literacy.
Sure.
And we're talking, and I'm just like, go out there. I'm like, and Tucker Carlson's saying something. He responds, and I was like, oh, this is fucking fear mongering. Right. This is when Tucker's still on Fox News, just post COVID. That's what he does, right? Like Tucker Carlson, bloodthirsty for many things, as my friend put it, but war with Iran is not one of them.
Yeah, he's scaled back in certain regards. Yeah.
And so I was like, it's fear mongering.
Yeah.
And so we start talking about that. And of course, when we start talking, you and I, it's to have a conversation and maybe understand each other.
And full disclosure, we don't agree with each other on a lot of things. I don't care.
You're a libertarian. Yeah. And I think other libertarians are pedophiles. The people that represent your organization are not great. But anyway.
Loosely held association.
Yeah, it's got to be very loose. And you don't think a lot of my views are correct. But
No, but that's okay.
I
don't
also
care.
think you genuinely believe them.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty big departure from a lot of people, especially online, if you try to have a conversation.
Impossible. I keep trying.
And so we're talking, and things are escalating, and it's like getting real weird. Because my mother used to be kind of the moderating force around things. My father had stage 4 cancer and then got better, which was bananas. Because like he was given 6 months to live with, it was esophageal cancer, and it already metastasized throughout.
Which is the one that you don't beat.
Yeah, it's just like lung, right?
Yeah.
It's like, oh, it's when they find it, it's already stage 4 and you're toast. Right. So he lived, bunch of it, like most of, I think 90% was removed of his stomach, but he lived, which that was great.
Amazing.
But I think her almost losing him, like I think it was a year or two prior to that, really kind of made her stop being that moderating force.
Okay. That's interesting.
The fear of losing him. That's
Right.
the best.
It's a big, no, that's fair. That's a huge thing. I'm watching that with some folks right now.
Yeah. And so as the conversation continues to escalate, my partner, lover, she's listening and she goes, and she knows they've had quite a few drinks. I've had like one or two.
Right.
And she goes, hey, maybe we put a pin in it and then continue the conversation tomorrow.
Okay.
Which is a great option.
A fair way to put it. Yeah.
Unfortunately, that is not how things went. And just the thought that maybe someone's being irrational or unhinged, just the general idea of that is infuriating to my father. And so it continues to escalate to the point where like they're just saying things like, what, you think teachers are just quitting their jobs? And I was like, it's not because they don't want to work, it's because they're treated horribly. And they're like, no, it's because they're lazy. I'm like,
Oh, yeah.
and
Family of teachers over here. They are not lazy.
I'm aware.
Yeah.
Like, it's the most thankless and arguably most important job we have.
Yeah.
Like that and doctor, but at least they're paid pretty good.
The thankless part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so continues to escalate to the point where she's uncomfortable because the household she grew up in had conflict. She's like, I'm not comfortable. She's like, I'm going to stay at a hotel tonight.
Sure.
I'll be back. Whatever.
Yeah.
Which great option.
Yeah.
Father decides to step towards her. And I can't say he would swing, but
Probably
he
not.
was certainly in a position to potentially strike my partner.
Yikes.
So I step in between, You don't touch her. Continues to escalate. And she goes, I'm leaving. I can't be here. And I go, I'm leaving too.
Yeah.
And so we end up packing her stuff. He comes in, continues to just basically rant. He says, I think something along the lines of, I don't like you, points at her very close. You're an illusion. I'm like, he's drunk at this
Wow,
point. Like,
yeah, he's
clearly,
hammered.
this is just ramblings.
Yeah.
And so we end up leaving. My mom's in tears. She's very sad. She's like, this is horrible. I was like,
Yeah.
you guys know I can't come back now because I love this woman. Like, and you've done everything you can to make it impossible for us to come back.
Yeah.
And so we end up leaving, driving home like the next day,
Yeah.
which is a 17-hour drive.
And it's unfortunate because it was a drunken issue and there was no.
And like, I don't know how drunk he actually was
Okay.
because he also just like sometimes gets unhinged. He's older now, right?
Sure,
He's
sure,
in
sure.
his 70s, approaching 80s. So could run for president.
Zing.
And so, like, the next time I hear from my mom reaches out because they had agreed to like pay for some lodging on the way home. So good on her. She's like, hey, how much was it? I tell her and she sends me the money. And then the following, I think August or September, Dad reaches out. I haven't heard from them since. Dad reaches out and says, hey, some complicated things are happening. Need you to talk to me. I said, okay, cool. I'm busy right now. Let me give you a call in the next day or two. So I give him a call. Mom's been really sick. And full transparency, Dad traveled a ton for work. He provided well for us,
Yeah.
but he wasn't the most like emotionally available human being.
Sure.
And also like he was never physically abusive.
Sure.
But like definitely some of the things looking back emotionally, he didn't intend to, but like
Right.
these were emotionally manipulative things.
Got it.
And my mother loved her to death. She was an incredibly caring person growing up and all that. So that's my relationship with my two parents. And so mom's been really sick with all these things. I was like, okay, cool. Let me know. So she gets diagnosed with ALS. And so keep in mind, I was going to therapy at the time, which was great.
Yeah.
And that therapist helped me kind of process the loss of my family already. Because I was like, probably never gonna see them again because my dad's too stubborn to ever apologize for something like
There's
that.
some pride there, right?
Yeah. My sister she's not a bad person, you know? like she was never raised religious, but she joined the church because she was bad at making friends.
Whew,
And so
okay.
she ended up becoming more and more religious.
Yeah.
To the point where like she's homeschooling her children. They aren't allowed to learn about evolution. My mother was told not to read part of a book at the end because it talks about monkeys becoming humans, which obviously I know it's more complicated than that, but it's like, okay, we're just not. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is weird because she's also a veterinarian.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of conflicting pieces there. So not super close with my sister. Mother always loved her.
Yeah.
Dad,
Fair.
mixed. And so she has ALS. I ask, like what kind? Is it, genetic or
Right.
did it
Important
just,
thing to know.
come up? Never responds.
Okay.
He just never responds. And then I think he wishes me a happy birthday in like March the following year. So 2023.
Okay.
And his birthday's a couple days after mine. I'm like, hey, happy birthday to you. I hope yours was good. This was weird though, because my dad doesn't text really. And so I did a lot of research into ALS, looking at time frame. And my understanding is effectively, if you're super healthy and all these other pieces, ALS can take longer
Yeah.
to fully, kill you, right? But my mother was not super healthy, so I figured probably 2-ish years after diagnosis. And so I get a letter actually about a month ago, a few weeks ago.
Okay. So
From the
right
bank.
around when we talked.
Yeah, a couple weeks after we talked.
Yeah.
And I get a letter from the bank saying that, to this person, my mother's name, or the estate of. I'm like, okay, so I open it.
Whoa.
And it's basically saying, I think I was still listed on their bank account. And it was asking for proof of her passing.
This is how you found out?
So I wanted to make sure it was legitimate. So I text my sister and my father and say, hey, has mom passed away? I got this letter.
Yeah.
Yes, she passed away in May.
Oh, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man.
No, it's fine. And so
I mean, it's fine, but that's brutal.
it's a lot to process. And
Yeah.
it became after I got confirmation that happened, I think is when I realized I really had kind of processed the loss of my family years ago. It still sucks.
Yeah.
I love her. Didn't get to say goodbye, but I wasn't surprised by any of it happening.
Sure.
I definitely like when my sister said, yeah, she passed away in May and gave me the date. I responded angrily.
I would
was
assume
like,
so.
So this is how your brother finds out that his mother passed away? And I had talked to my partner. I was like, I had the theory that they would never tell me. That they just
you
wouldn't let me
mentioned
know.
that. Yeah. And I was curious. Okay.
Right again. And so I texted my dad and he said, yes. And then he gives me a call. And I didn't see the call at the time. I don't think. And I was like, no, I'm not taking a call. The voicemail was just, hey, Trav, this is your dad. Give me a call when you get a chance. And I responded back and I just texted him. I said, it's been 2 years since you reached out. And I found out my mom died from the letter from the bank. You don't get to have me call you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I'm not obviously sad my mother passed away. I think she was a wonderful woman and a fantastic mother. Sad about that. But I had processed it mostly already, so it didn't hit me nearly as hard as I think it would have.
Yeah.
I am more disappointed that my estimation on how my family would behave was correct.
Yeah.
Because that's gross.
That's
just gross behavior.
It's gross.
There was no obituary that we could find. We looked. We were just like,
Yeah.
and I wouldn't be surprised if there wasn't even a funeral. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Okay. And noting that this was just a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
This is all sort of sorry, man. This is your response to this in this moment. And you're probably going to continue to evolve through it.
I think so.
I think so.
I think I've processed kind of all of it already, like over the last, 3 years or whatever.
To that point you've been making. Yes.
Where it's just, she was a wonderful person. I got to spend many years with her. I love her. She's passed, and that's sad. But I think she did her best. And it is sad that she passed away.
Yeah.
And it also, I think despite it not being any traditional sense of it, I think it gives me closure on my relationship with my family. And I have no interest.
I could see that.
Because like I said, my mother was the one I was closest with. She was the one that I definitely cared the most about.
Right.
And it is clear to me that they have no interest in including me at all either. So it's okay. It's like, all right, well, I guess I'm super done now.
I have nothing pithy or poignant to add. No. Yeah.
Sometimes, and I think something I kind of learned about grief, over the last 5-10 years or whatever, really kind of cemented is when someone's going through something shitty. I think a lot of us, especially if you have ADHD, the inclination is say, hey, I'm really sorry. I've gone through something similar and related to that.
Right.
Oftentimes I think what people need is you to just say, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
And just sit there with them.
Yep.
And just be in the uncomfortable silence.
Oh, I'm totally giving you a hug after this.
Okay. That's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, so sometimes shit just sucks.
Yeah.
And there's nothing anyone can do. And that's
right.
And
then
like,
the processing of it is going to be ups and downs.
Yeah, like, should I have reached out sooner? It's like, maybe. I don't know what that does. I don't think it benefits anyone. I think I had mostly kind of gotten closure on that relationship. Seeing her mostly as a withered person at that point, due to the ALS, I don't think makes me feel any better about the scenario. I think it's just your mom dying when you loved her sucks. And that's just it.
Yeah. And it's allowed to suck.
Yeah.
Like, life has its things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, man. Well, I'm going to give you that hug in a moment.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone.
I do want to say one thing real quick.
Please.
Free Palestine.
Fair play.
There you go.
And you can find Travis pretty much everywhere on the internet at Disgruntled Elk.
Yep.
Which is, after this conversation, I think a fantastic name.
Gruntle is not a word.
No,
Funny
but you
enough.
could be disgruntled.
Exactly.
Gruntled is a word.
I don't think so. I think I've looked it up and it's just like doesn't exist.
I feel like I've wanted it to be a word.
It should be a word. If disgruntled is a word, gruntled should be. Maybe it is a word. It's just never something anyone has ever used because it's a silly word.
Being disgruntled is akin to being unhappy or bothered or stressed about a thing. So gruntling or being gruntled seems a positive aspect.
Yeah, gruntled is just like fine.
Yeah.
I think is basically what gruntled is.
You're the dog in the fire saying this is fine.
Yeah, just unbothered.
Yeah.
Unbothered elk.
Yeah.
That's
versus
gruntled.
gruntled dog. Yeah, gruntled dog.
Perfect.
Okay.
All right, man.
Beautiful.
Appreciate it.
Travis, thanks, man.
Absolutely.
And thanks for letting me, swing down for the midday in Columbus, Ohio.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I'll see you again, brother. Hey, everybody, thank you so much.
Thank you all again for hanging out with me today. I can't express how much I appreciate Travis being willing to share his story, and yes, I gave him a giant hug. As seems to be tradition, we went out for lunch with his partner after the show and had a great conversation. I'm so excited for the guests that I've currently booked for season 2, and the folks that I'm working with, and if you've met me, you know that it's really hard for me not to spoil surprises, so stay tuned. I really think you'll enjoy what comes next. 20 episodes down, 20 fewer strangers in your life, and I can honestly say that I love every one of them, and I'm better for having them in my own life. Until we meet again, my name is JT Erickson, and this has been No More Strangers.